candidates did and talk about it with political analyst Brian Sobel. Brian, from the very beginning, this conversation shifted to what's going on in the Middle East. A lot of the focus tonight on foreign policy. You surprised at all by that, and how do you think the candidates did?
Well, first, no. This was the key thing today was the Iranian missile attack on Israel. J.D. Vance is in the Senate. The governor is a governor of a state, and so that had to be an overriding issue. So they audibled at the line, in football terms, to start with that. But the debate tonight was very interesting, Heather, because it was civil. It had some substance. They allowed each other to speak, even agreed with each other on certain things, and it was refreshing actually to watch it tonight.
Yeah, when you talk about it being civil, it really lacked the sort of level of nastiness that we've seen in the presidential debates.
Right, and I think some of that divisive discussion bothers the American people. They say, hey, we have all these issues to talk about, and all you can do is argue. And what you saw tonight is that you can put two people in a room and they can disagree vehemently about certain things, and yet they know how to be quiet when it's time to be quiet and make their case when it's their time to make their case.
So how did the candidates do in outlining their policy positions?
Well, they were there as stalking horses for their top of the ticket people. And I thought both of them represented, in the case of J.D. Vance, Donald Trump very well, Tim Walz, Kamala Harris. And that was their job tonight. And I always say in debates, the biggest thing is not to step on a nail, not to say something, do something that's going to come back and haunt you. Now, there was an early mistake by, well, it's not so much a mistake, but something that should have been prepped better in Tim Walz around the Tiananmen Square situation where he said he was there. And he fumbled that answer. And I don't know how much that will come back, but there were those kinds of things.
And that seems something that he would have prepared for and the team would have prepared for, knowing that a question like that was going to be asked. I was a bit surprised that he didn't have a more buttoned-up answer ready to go.
I agree with you, but you could see the difference between these two candidates. J.D. Vance is very good on the stump, very good. And Tim Walz has his own style, and it's not more of a senator's debating style. He's more folksy. He's the everyman. So two different styles, and so I think that came out in the debate.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying that they thought that J.D. Vance was going to perform a little bit better because this is sort of his realm, right?
Right.
He's very articulate. Yep. He's able to kind of dodge questions, but in a nice, easy way, if that makes any sense. He doesn't come across as super combative. Did you get that? Was that your takeaway this evening as well?
Absolutely. I think people who don't know J.D. Vance and haven't watched him might have been surprised by his demeanor tonight. He doesn't react and he doesn't overreact inappropriately, and he just is used to debating. So he goes back and forth. He also, several times in the debate, when the moderators would try to cut him off, and even fact check him, he said, wait a minute, we had rules about that, and here's my response. But he did it in a very easygoing manner, and so I think that should have impressed some people tonight.
Okay, well, we will see, because that is my question for you folks tonight. Who do you believe won the vice presidential debate tonight? Do you think that it was J.D. Vance, the Ohio senator, or perhaps Minnesota Governor Tim Walz? We'd like to hear from you, so you can cast your vote by scanning the QR code. It's kind of hard to see, but it's right there on the top right of your screen. Scan that QR code. We really do want to hear from you. Do you agree with Brian Sobel in that perhaps J.D. Vance outperformed Tim Walz tonight, or did you prefer his approach to answering questions and also his policy positions? Brian, really appreciate you joining me tonight. I know you're going to join us later on this evening for more post-debate analysis.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you being here.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
Yeah, we'll wait to see what viewers at home had to say about tonight's debate. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us.